Jeezy files for divorce from Jeannie Mai after 2 years of marriage.
And black women rejoice. Black women was dropping clues bombs all across the country.
However, it was, dropped the bomb on this, and it was Tamar Braxton. Here's what she said about the divorce.
Y'all file for divorce, it's over.
Yeah, because usually guys don't strike
y'all
first.
not emotional like that.
Nah, so...
That was the first strike, but then she doubled down on what might be the case with Jeannie and Jeezy's marriage going down the drain.
There's two reasons why a man leaves his wife or files for divorce. Number one is another woman pushing him to do it, okay? Or number two is something real foul went down.
Ouch. Well, what's more is that this revelation has been a long time coming.
Yes, okay.
We just said add a little drama. Don't take the man on an emotional roller coaster.
You're telling me?
You're gonna send him into an institution.
Not that it's something to be happy about, but we've all seen several celebrities get divorced over the years, and while those divorces are usually drama-filled, Jeannie Mai and Jeezy's take things to a whole new level, but that's not even the outrageous part of the story. The mind-blowing part is that it's one of Jeannie's old co-workers who's blowing the whistle on the pair's separation. Now, we all know Jeannie may not exactly be the nicest person in the world, but from the looks of what's happening at sea, Mrs. the reality star might have stepped on Tamar Braxton's toes while they worked together. It's several years after, and it seems the former The Real star is back for her pound of flesh from May. And it seems that for her part, she might be doing a lot more than just stepping on Jeannie's toes. She's not only exposing Jeannie's real personality to the world, but the dark part is that she's doing it by pointing the spotlight on her failed marriage. And if you think about it, who better to spill the tea on a celebrity marriage than another celebrity who used to work with and had a bone to pick with? Said celebrity, well, you have your answer. If you're on the fence, the details Braxton has just dropped about Jeannie will probably have you reconsidering your view of relationships and friendships in Hollywood. So, what exactly did Braxton reveal that's riled the internet up so much in the last couple of hours? Grab your popcorn because this will be a bumpy ride.
I'm married. I got annoyed at myself because I'm hella controlling.
Yeah.
I didn't. Okay, Tamar.
In showbiz, it's almost impossible to avoid controversies, and while one could repeatedly try to stay out of it, the reality in most cases is that the celebrity life catches up to you. It seems this was exactly the case with Jeannie Mai, as the celebrity host seems to always find herself back in the same controversial spot over the years. The only difference this time is that it's someone from her past that's striking. Another thing I didn't mention about showbiz is that more times than not, you should probably avoid stepping on the wrong toes, because just like Jeannie Mai, that may be the reason you're caught up in a controversial situation. It's almost ironic that Mai is the one getting caught up in some drama, as the host has pretty much built a career by focusing on other people's controversy. But the tables seem to have finally turned, as she now seems to be the one getting outed on a show just like hers. That's right, according to the recent reports about Mai, it seems one of her former friends, and also a celebrity host, seems to have inside information about what's going on in my crumbling marriage, and word on the street is that the former friend Braxton isn't holding back anything. Remember the news from last week about Jeannie Mai and Jeezy's marriage? Well, if you don't, here's what happened. After 2.5 years of marriage, Jeezy has filed for divorce from his wife and former TV host, Jeannie Mai. Billboard can confirm the rapper filed the petition on Thursday, September 14th at Fulton County Superior Court in Georgia. The Atlanta Journal-Constitution, which was first to break the news, also reported that the pair have a prenup in place and that he's seeking joint custody of their 1-year-old daughter, Monica.
Hi, how are you? I'm fine.
I'm fine.
God,
Guys.
I want to thank you.
Thank you.
According to the document viewed by Billboard, the filing states that the former pair are currently living in a bona fide state of separation. The rapper also states that the marriage is irretrievably broken with no hope for reconciliation. However, Tamar Braxton seems to have a seemingly more plausible explanation for what happened between the pair, and we all know there's nothing people love more than insider information. According to the entertainer, there are only a couple of reasons a man leaves his wife. Whatever the case may be, Braxton believes if a man is done, the relationship is really over.
But let me tell you something. When y'all file for divorce, it's over.
Yeah, because usually guys don't strike
y'all
first.
not emotional like that.
Nah, so...
The songstress spoke about her former co-host pending divorce during a recent segment on Dish Nation. The Love and War artist first addressed fellow panelists Jessie Woo, who laughed at the breakup news and said, "Why do you find this funny? My heart breaks for Jessie Woo, who is also a media personality, explains she doesn't feel sympathy for Jeannie Mai because of previous comments she made about seemingly preferring white men over black men." Let's rewind for a bit during a 2015 episode of The Real. When Tamar and Jeannie Mai worked together on the talk show, the author revealed that she loved dating black guys in the past, but had chosen her then-husband Freddie Hardis, who happens to be white. She stated, "For me, dark meat on the side, white keeps me mean and lean. That's what I like."
But for me, dark meat on the side, white keeps me mean and lean. You know, that's why I married white man. That's what I like.
The clip resurfaced amid news that Jeezy filed for divorce. Tamar then re-entered the conversation, noting things between the former lovebirds could be over forever. Because Jeezy, a man, filed for divorce, she stated, "I think she really was in love, and I feel terrible. The little baby girl is so cute." Yes, but let me tell you something, when men file for divorce, it's over, y'all, not emotional like that. Fans also seem to agree with her, as many of them took to the comments on her latest post. One person and wrote, "I've always admired Tamar. She always said exactly what a lot of people are thinking, but are too afraid to say. She was way too real for the real." Although it was reported that the rapper cited the marriage was irretrievably broken, with no hope of reconciliation on the official divorce documents. However, the Braxton Family Values star continued and said there's two reasons why a man leaves his wife or files for divorce. Number one is another woman pushing him to do it, or number two is something unreal foul went down. The musician noted again that she feels bad for Jeannie and believes the TV star was truly in love with the rapper. Neither Jeannie nor Jeezy have directly addressed their split at this time, but he did say this in a recent interview. "I've been happening a few times. The last time it happened, it was just a reality check following reports of the divorce." However, the put-on artist took to Instagram and shared a few solo photos with the caption, "Too focused on who I'm becoming to focus on who's not coming with me." Braxton's claims about her old co-star's marriage came as a shock to a lot of people, not just because they thought she was friends with Jeannie Mai, but also because just 3 years ago she was praising their relationship on social media, according to the Newsback. In 2020, fans were left gushing after Braxton Family Values star Tamar Braxton showed love to her former The Real co-star Jeannie Mai after Mai's fiancé rapper Jeezy gifted her a billboard on his birthday. My caption the September 28th the post, "When I'm trying to surprise the birthday king tonight, and he ends up surprising me. Who does that?" That, like the man said, "Thank you, baby. And you'll join me in wishing it Jeezy the happiest birthday." However, it's 3 years later, and it seems the very relationship she was praising has become an entirely different story. Nonetheless, knowing what we know about Jeannie Mai, there's almost no way in the world she takes this lightly. But it seems Braxton might be more and prepared for what is to come. See, the beef between Mai and Braxton actually goes all the way back, as the pair used to co-host the talk show The Real together back in the day. While staring together, they used to throw constant backhanded jabs at each other, with some of the other hosts even noticing just how bad things between them had become.
Close with the thug and their family?
Yes,
Wow.
No, thug moms always loved. I'm like I'm the good girl, Asian girl. You know what I mean?
Even fans noticed how obvious it was. One user wrote, "I actually liked the way Tamar handled Jeannie's comments do sound stupid at times, and Tamar was the only one brave enough to shut Butter up. Now on the show today, without Tamar, this lady makes some of the dumbest statements without anyone stepping in." While the battle lines had already been obviously drawn, as seen from their repeated hits against each other, it seems Mai might have gone out of her way to make life more difficult for Braxton. The show up to the point of seemingly getting her fired. Per the reports at the time, after 2 seasons on the syndicated talk show, Braxton was reported to have been leaving in what both parties are calling a mutual decision. Unlike Braxton, her co-host Tamara, Maori, Jeannie Mai, Adrienne Bailon, and Lonnie Love will be sticking with the show as it enters seasons 3 and 4. Later, A joint statement from the show and Braxton was released, which was supposed to give the idea that she was relatively pleasant about the split, but that wasn't totally the case. The statement read, "The Real and Tamar Braxton have mutually decided that Tamar will not be continuing with the show. For its upcoming third season, she will be leaving in order to concentrate on her solo career. Everyone associated with The Real appreciates Tamar's efforts and the contribution she has made to the show. Our success, and we wish her all the best for the future." However, it seems the split was a lot more unpleasant than most people would have thought. That seemed especially clear after an Instagram post she placed online only days after she had been fired. In a somewhat cryptic message, Braxton told fans, "She'd been stabbed in the back by someone I stupidly trusted." She didn't elaborate about who stabbed her in the back, but anyone who watched the show could probably tell who she was referring to purely based on her interactions with Mai and other members of the show.
This is the problem. You got to stop putting everybody in your friend category. Stop that, number one, because everybody is not your friend. Everybody's not wishing you well.
Yes,
everybody
but
don't want you to succeed and do good.
And if that part wasn't convincing enough for you, there is also the fact that an insider actually confirmed that Braxton was fired, as opposed to the statement that got out about her contract not being renewed. According to statements from B. Scott, a member of the behind-the-scenes team, she wasn't reading too well with the audience and salespeople didn't find her to be a good fit with advertisers, said Scott's source. Also, production found her too difficult to deal with. The blowback from that report was so bad that even the entire show had to clear up the air about her departure from The Real, with the headline saying The Real is keeping it real about Tamar Braxton's exit. You just know things were about to get interesting, and that, ladies and gentlemen, they did. At the time news hit about the host's sudden departure from the daytime talk show, fans began speculating the reasoning behind her move, and the story swirling then was that she was let go over conflict with her fellow co-host Jeannie Mai. Loved Tamara Mori Housley and Adrian Bailon. Well, seeing as so many people thought that, and for good reason, it seems it might have affected the show so much so that they had to find a way to clear the air about it. Tamar Braxton's contract was not renewed for reasons that will remain privileged and private, and that is between her and the studio. A statement from the show rep to a news began, "However, we would like to make it crystal clear that Mrs. Braxton's departure from the show had nothing to do with her former co-hosts. Any suggestion to the contrary unfairly tarnishes them. As always, we wish Tamar and Vince Herbert all the best." However, the story for Braxton herself was a different tale in what marked her first public on-air interview since the news broke. Tamar talked about returning for the third season of the show during an appearance on Steve Harvey's radio show, The Steve Harvey Morning Show, confirming that her departure was not her decision. "At the end of the day, I'm just like everybody else when you hear something that's devastating and something that's very close to you," she said. "I'm a regular person, a regular woman, and I have feelings, and at the end of the day, I got my heart broken. It just wasn't by a man." Tamar later told Harvey that The Real exit came out of the blue and that she was not told why she was not coming back. She had posted a cryptic message on her Instagram page a day before the news broke saying, "I love you all, but I have been stabbed in the back by someone I stupidly trusted." You know, when you love your job, you're not complaining about much, you're not fighting with anybody. "Me and the girls got along, so I thought," she said, and added that she loves her co-hosts. Additionally, Love recently spoke out about the news surrounding Braxton and told fans she was just as confused as they were. "When we wrapped our show for season 2, we had a photo shoot Tamar was a part of that we were planning on going to Essence. She was part of that. There was no indication that Tamar was going to be let go. We genuinely all like each other." However, none of these deterred Braxton, as she seemed to have been hell-bent on proving her exit was a backstabbing, and the proof of her still having hard feelings was left in an Instagram post someone posted a Mia Tamar giving her co-host the side-eye in a photo with the caption, "When you in a room full of phony, best to distance yourself," to which Tay commented, "Pretty much it's not entirely difficult to see how high the chances are that Braxton was kicked off the show because of her differences with the other hosts, especially when you consider the fact that she and Jeannie Mai had been firing shots at each other on the show." Well, on a closer look at Mai's life, it seems she might have been the problem, as the celebrity host seems to have been more than a little problematic, and word on the street is that this same nature is one of the things that landed her divorce papers, according to reports that have come out about how things went down in their marriage. It seems Mai might have been overbearing for Jeezy to the point that it subsequently led to the star-jumping ship. This theory sort of matches what Braxton also believes to be the reason the pair fell out. I mean, taking one look at an episode of The Real with Maui, you'd notice that she's constantly talking over her other co-hosts. And if that doesn't convince you, there's also the history of being controlling with her ex-husband Common. What do you think? Are the odds that the man blindsided her with divorce papers if she was such a great person? There are so many questions that need to be answered about this story. But hopefully time will reveal all the answers. That's it for this video. Goodbye.